Check it, check. 1 2 1 2. Check it, check 2 4 6 8. Who do we appreciate? Your mama, your daddy, your greasy granny with a hole in her panty. Got a little bitty hole like a Tootsie Roll. She's got scrambled eggs between her legs. She's got steak and fries between her thighs. I don't know, something like that. I remember back in the days when I was in high school and I thought shit like that was clever. Oh, God. Oh, high school. So glad that's over with. Now I'm mature. Now I laugh at fart jokes instead of stuff like that. Anyway, Randy, did you see? Look what I found in the studio. Look at this giant fucking stash of Sharpie markers that we can never find Sharpies. 6 of them right here. You can scream and shout with all your might. Oh, you can scream, shout, whine, cry, sniffle, piss, and motherfucking moan. You can shove your opinion up your ass. That way Obama's cock has something to keep it company. I also found eye drops. And don't forget, the ever-present, the most likely, the third possibility, you are wrong and I am right. That happens because I am the great one himself. I am the founder of the Civil Libertarian Society on the internet since 1999. Podcasting for 11 years. I am right. I am always right. I have always been right. I have never been wrong. And this right here is Stating the Obvious podcast. It is the weapons platform from which I launched the cruise missile of my intellect that homes in on and destroys stupid motherfucking statists all around the world. It has a stupidity-seeking guidance system in it. It immediately, after being launched, homes in on people who believe in tolerance, diversity, and multiculturalism. Because I know what some of you are saying. Some of you, of course, are saying, who would build the roads? But many of you are saying, but great one, you're not an anarcho-capitalist. Anarcho-capitalists they believe in tolerance and diversity and multiculturalism. No, they don't. As I've said before, anarcho-capitalism means you don't initiate aggression against other people. It has nothing to fucking do with approving of other people, tolerating other people, diversity, multicultural, nothing. Nothing in anarcho-capitalism says you have to approve of, insert group here, transsexuals, black people, white people, men, women, Jews, Nazis, social, whatever it is, insert it right there. Nothing in anarcho-capitalism says you have to approve of some fucking special interest minority group who is, and let's face it, where do all these special interest minority groups come from? They come from people seeking privileges and attentions, right? If there was no attention given to minorities, if there were no privileges given to minorities, and when I say given, I mean given to them by the state, having the state force other people to give them things, right? Americans with Disabilities Act. If the state did not force people who are not, quote-unquote, disabled to give tax money to disabled people, if it didn't force people to build ramps for disabled people, if it didn't force people to make special allowances for disabled people, then nobody would be trying to be in the minority/special interest group called disabled people. So there's nothing in anarcho-capitalism that says you have to respect, tolerate, put up with, be nice to people who are trying to classify themselves as minority groups in order to get resources. Anarcho-capitalism merely says you can't initiate aggression against those people. It does also say that you can defend yourself, and since minority groups, special interest groups, right, the GLBT KKK, the Black Lives Matter, the Jews, the feminist, I mean, whoever the fuck it is, anyone who is taking themselves and segregating themselves and saying, look at me, I'm different, they're saying they're different for a reason. The reason they are emphasizing that they are different is because they want the state to grant them special privileges. And if you, as a non-different person, as not a member of that minority group, if you don't give them those privileges, they, the minority group, will use the state to force you to give them the privileges. That's called aggression. So not only does anarcho-capitalism not say that I can't make fun of other people in these minority groups, anarcho-capitalism, the non-aggression principle, and the defending yourself from aggression principle, actually says that it's okay for me to do this because they are initiating aggression against me by attempting to use the state to force me to give them my money and to force me to not talk about them, to not criticize them, to not critique them. So I just like to throw that out every now and then, because as the anarcho-capitalist sphere is being infiltrated, and I've talked about this before, and we've seen it, as the femistatist and the special interest groups and the GLBTKKK are trying to infiltrate the anarcho-capitalist sphere because they think anarcho-capitalism means being tolerant of just fucking anything and everything. And it doesn't. It means not initiating aggression, and it means not stealing other people's shit. And I know many of you believe that words are aggression, and you are wrong, and you're stupid. And I can't fix that, right? Because you can't fix stupid. Stupid cannot be fixed. So anyhow, that was just me ranting. Hi, I am the Great One himself. As you know, I am the founder of Cynical Libertarian Society. We're hanging out here at the studios. Today is the 28th of November. In the control room over there is the lovely and adorable Randy. And I think it's still snowing outside, or maybe it stopped finally. It's getting sunny. Hang on, let me open the window here. We'll open the shade. See what it looks like out there. Oh, nice icicles. Sweet. Ah, yes, lots of frozen global warming all over the ground, otherwise known as snow. What else? Does email God, it's dog spelled backwards, God at cynlibsoc.com, and of course cynlibsoc.com on the interwebs and also on the Twitterverse. Alright, let's get started. I also found I did a little cleaning here in the studio today. I found all kinds of shit. We need to plug this in, see if anything's on it, and if not, maybe find a home for it. Where am I? Here we go. Alright, I was looking for some. I have plenty of shit. We are reading from the CSU, Colorado State University Collegian. And, well, never mind. No, I will say this. People say to me, Great One, your cock is so huge that I'm going to need to bring a couple of my girlfriends over to help me drain all the cum from your cock. Actually, nobody's ever said that to me. That's just a fantasy of mine. But people say to me, oh God, the maturity level. Oh, look, Randy, I also found some lip, what do you call this shit? Chapstick. There we go. It's amazing what you find when you clean up. People say to me, Great One, you're an asshole. And I say, yeah, but I'm telling the truth. Alright, so people say to me, Great One, why do you make fun of the college students so much? You know, they're young, they're the future of America, they're the smartest generation, yada, yada, yada. And that's why I make fun of them, because these are, in fact, the future of America. Put all of that in air quotes. And they need to be made fun of because this is the most sissified, pussified, whiny-ass generation ever. That's why I'm going to spend this entire podcast reading from the CSU Collegian and making fun of college kids. So here we go. Thank you to Megan Burnett, what? Some of these sentences in this newspaper really don't make sense to me. I wish some of these journalist students would learn how to write. Thank you to Megan Burnett, comma, the School of Social Work is hosting a diversity demonstration. Okay, first of all, here's the first problem. First problem is I need more hot tea. And I did not leave the burner. No, I didn't leave the burner on the stove. The burner is on the stove. I didn't leave the teapot on the burner this time, so we will not be starting any fires today. The first problem is that there is actually such a thing as a school of social work. The fact that that actually exists, the School of Social Work. Look at how, think about this, think about if we had a society that wasn't filled with broken people. Sorry, it's me getting distracted. I need to turn something off. Alright, no more distractions. Yeah, you've heard that lie before. God, what if we lived in a society that wasn't so filled with broken people, that we have entire institutions devoted to keeping the broken people alive? I mean, think about the entire welfare system, the entire therapy system, the psychiatry, the fucking welfare, the social workers. I mean, look at how much is invested in people being broken. And you wonder why there's so many broken people. I mean, I've talked about this before. If you have a business that sells automobiles, it behooves that business to create a demand for automobiles. And to have a demand for automobiles, you have to have people who want automobiles. And for people who want automobiles, they need to want to move from place to place, haul things around, go on road trips, so forth and so on. And we've got this entire industrial complex that's built around, the fuck is that? My God, that's another pile of shit that I need to talk about. I have so much fucking material. We've got this entire industrial complex built around the idea of helping people who can't provide for themselves. And so when your entire business model is geared at helping people who can't provide for themselves, you have to create people who can't provide for themselves. You need a market demand for that, otherwise you go out of business. A fucking school of social work. Alright. The School of Social Work would like to extend a thank you to Megan Burnett for her opinion article titled On the Topic of White Privilege. Now, I think somewhere I actually have this. Basically, this chick wrote this thing and she said, you know, everybody's whining about white privilege and I'm a white girl and my family came from this European country and they were oppressed and all this other shit, and just kind of get over this white privilege shit because some white people actually had to work for a living. That was sort of the gist of it. And oh my God, the fucking tolerance and diversity crowd at CSU lost their fucking minds. Because of course they're into tolerance and diversity and multiculturalism, unless of course you're white, in which case you need to shut the fuck up because you have white skin. And you're so privileged. And we are going to take our minority status and we are going to use the state, we're going to use the government, we're going to use the administration of CSU, we're going to use your tax money to beat you into silence if you don't shut the fuck up. And this is why I despise, but how can you be an anarcho-capitalist and hate these people? This is why I fucking hate these people. Because these people are the fucking enemy of freedom. They are the enemy of anarcho-capitalism. They are the enemy of independent thought. They are the enemy of free speech. They are the enemy of the truth. And they are, of course, the enemy of equality, because the last thing the GLBT KKK or the Black Movement or the Latino Diversity Office or the School of Social Work, the last thing any of the people who consider themselves members of these spheres, the last thing these people want is actual equality, because if they were equal to white people, they'd have to shut the fuck up about how oppressed they are and how white privilege exists. Okay, so these people don't give a flying fuck about equality. And then, of course, there's also the fact that there is no such thing as equality. Equality is like fairness. It doesn't exist. Life is not fair. No two people are equal. There's theoretically some people who are better looking than I am, and there are a couple of people who are smarter than I am, 7 or 8 of them, and that's not fair, and we're not equal, and that's the fucking way it is. This is a sensitive and complex topic, one that generates strong feelings and is often difficult to talk openly about. Let's see. Why is it difficult to talk openly about white privilege? Oh, that's right, because if you say that white privilege doesn't exist, you will be attacked and silenced by all of the fucking special interest minority groups who have their little departments on the college campuses, like the GLBT KKK department, and the Latino Studies department, and the Black Studies department, and the Feminist Studies department, and the School of Social Work. That's why it's difficult to talk about, because free speech, independent thought process, is not allowed on college campuses. Megan's column prompted a discussion within our school on the need to foster more understanding and awareness about privilege is capitalized, intersectionality is capitalized, and how the presence of social injustice is capitalized, affects all of us. The word all is in all capital letters. The school of this is the smartest generation ever. This is the future of America. These are the people who are one day going to be making important decisions. These are the people that are going to get elected to political office. They're going to run the corporations. God, if there's been any argument against statism, it would be the fact that one day these people, thanks to statism, are going to be in charge. The School of Social Work is hosting a diversity demonstration today, November 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Laurie Student Center Plaza public area. This diversity event is designed to increase our campus awareness and understanding of diversity in the context of our lives. Please come by and join the conversation. Unless, of course, you have an opinion, a viewpoint, or a worldview which is different than ours, in which case we don't want you in the conversation, and in fact, we will take actions to make sure that you are silenced. Understanding any kind of privilege requires us to consider the context and environments in which it occurs. We all have our individual identities, race, ethnicity, age, disability status, sex, gender identity, religious beliefs, social class, economic status, and so forth. How our identities affect our experiences and understanding depends also on our environment and how we experience belonging in our various domains: community, organization, social group, family, etc. When and where do you experience being validated, valued, and understood? Belong? And when and where do you not? Where are most people like you? When and where are they not? What is that like for you? How are you advantaged or disadvantaged in that particular circumstance? Jesus fucking H Christ on a stick. The fucking... I mean, look, there's a time and a place for some navel gazing. I am all about, I've talked about it before, go out. This is the exercise, the homework I've given you people in the past. Go out for at least 1 hour, do something physical, walking, running, lifting weights, yoga, whatever it is, with no cell phone, no music, no distractions, just you and yourself, and be there with your thought process and pay attention to what you think and how you talk to yourself and what goes through your mind. All right, I'm all for having some self-awareness. I'm all for having awareness of your environment. Having been in the military, I learned in the military awareness of the environment. It still to this day amazes me how little awareness the average person has of their environment. I've talked about this a lot before. Most civilians, I still refer to non-military people as civilians, most civilians, for example, never look up. And they don't really look down. They just sort of wander through life. Well, nowadays they stare at their cell phone. But even if they're not looking at the cell phone, they just sort of look straight ahead and they wander through life. I mean, like, I sat there, I've watched people walking past like $5 bills laying on the ground because they don't look down. I've watched people walk past credit cards laying on the ground because they don't look down. So I'm all for garnishing, that's not really the right word. I'm all for, what's the word? Enhancing your awareness of both your inner self and the world around you. Okay, look at yourself, listen to yourself, look at the world around you, pay attention to your environment, and notice things that are going on. I'm all for that. That's important shit. But this level of fucking, and the whole point of all this navel gazing, all these navel gazing questions is to identify how you're being oppressed so that you can be part of a minority group. And this is the important difference between my concept of self-awareness and the concept of self-awareness that is held by the dumbest generation ever. And in fact, most statists. Right? I, as an anarcho-capitalist, say unto you that you need to enhance awareness of yourself and your environment so that you can become a better person. The millennial/statist rationale for self-awareness and awareness of your environment is so that you can identify all of the ways in which you are oppressed so that you can then become a victim. Because, as I have said so many times before, if you are not either a victim or a victimizer, then you serve no purpose for the state. The state doesn't need you if you don't need the state. And for you to need the state, you need to be a victim so that you can get resources from the state that are stolen from other people, or you need to be a victimizer so that you create victims who then need the state. Right. It is the intersection of all of our identities and all the domains in which we live our lives that contribute to our unique experiences and perspectives. God, that everything I just said right there was really fucking brilliant. Yeah, I just called myself brilliant. Go fuck yourself. Hold on, I need to make a note here. Because that was good shit. All right. I have these moments. See, and some people try to be humble. I don't. I have no need to be humble. When I am brilliant, I am fucking brilliant. You can kiss my ass. That was fucking brilliant. How can we move towards understanding others' differences and creating an environment that is socially just and honors these differences? Well, maybe you could create an environment that is socially just and honors differences by not spending so much of your life trying to oppress people who are different than you and trying to steal money via taxation from people who are different from you. That would be one option. Please join the School of Social Work students, faculty, and staff tomorrow at the Laurie Student Center Plaza Public Area. Schedule 9:30. Demonstration march open to all. Demonstrate the entire sentence. Demonstration march open to all is in all capital letters. We're going to march. Oh, we're going to change the fucking world. I'm going to walk. We are going to put one foot in front of the other and move our bodies from one location to another. This has never been done before, and we are going to overcome so much oppression by doing this. I mean, this is why you people are losers. You're going to walk from one place to another, and you think that's going to save the world or something? People are going to see you walking, and there's going to be somebody. So here's this person, and of course this is a Southerner. They're probably from Georgia or something like that. So this evil fucking Southerner is walking across the Student Plaza, and he's thinking, God, I sure do hate black people. I want to kill me some black people. I'm going to get me a shotgun, and I'm going to shoot some black people, and then I'm going to put their heads in a noose, and I'm going to hang them from a tree, and I'm going to shoot their dead bodies because I hate black people. And then this evil Southerner, he's going to see all of these social work students walking across the plaza, and suddenly he's going to go, oh my God, I can't believe how wrong I was. I've seen the light now. Why, black people are my equals. I'm never going to harm another black person again. I've been saved. Right? There's going to be this Nazi. He's going to be walking across the plaza. He's going to be thinking, God damn it, I hate Jews. I'm going to fucking kill me some Jews. I think them Jews should be gassed. Wait. Not would Nazis talk? Oh yeah, because of course all Nazis are Southerners. They would talk in a Southern accent. Yeah, I'm gonna kill me some Jews because I'm a member of the Nazi Party. Heil Hitler! Hitler was my savior. Hitler was the great. And then he's gonna see these social worker students walking across the plaza. He's gonna say, "Oh my God, I've been so wrong. I am accepting Obama into my heart. I realize now that Jews are not the spawn of Satan. Why, Jews are enlightened people who are equal to me. And it was so terrible what Hitler did. And I'm gonna go home and I'm going to burn all of my Hitler posters right now." Yes, see, that's how you fucking convince people to stop being racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever it is. You don't convince them to do that by not oppressing them anymore, not fucking silencing them, not fucking insulting them constantly in the media, not taking their money in the form of taxes, not passing more laws that force them to give you special privileges. No, none of that. The way you stop people from being racist, sexist, homophobic is by walking. Demonstration march open to all. Gathering at the metal sculpture on Pitkin and Center Avenue outside the Education Building. From 10 to 2 o'clock, diversity demonstration handouts. Because that's what diversity is all about. Handouts. Diversity demonstration handouts. Educational flyers, student performers, on the plaza informational signs, activities that make an impact and representation from our student diversity programs and services. At 2 p.m., guess what? There's going to be a, in all capital letters, demonstration march open to all. Unless, of course, you're a white person who doesn't believe in diversity. If you're a white person and you think white privilege doesn't exist, I'm pretty fucking sure it's not open to you. Leaving from the club. Highlighted events. 10 o'clock, there's going to be an a cappella performance. At 10:30, Shalea Montero is going to do slam poetry. At 11:15, Sam Denard will perform spoken word. At 11:45, there's going to be a privilege walk across the plaza. Oh my God, it's a privilege walk. Oh my God, I'm so excited. A privilege walk. Oh, we're going to change the world. I'm getting Twitter pated. Oh, am I hyperventilating? Oh, diversity. Oh, privilege walk. Oh. And then at 12:15, Sarah Jensen is going to guitar/singing performance. Oh my God. So meanwhile, speaking of diversity and tolerance, oh yes, I'm just, God, fucking, it never ends. Speaking of diversity and tolerance, students protest the beliefs of RamCatholic speaker at LSC. So you see, we have this tolerance and diversity, this open-mindedness. Oh yeah, unless you're a Catholic, in which case you need to shut the fuck up. Because see, you're a Catholic, and we don't have to tolerate your diversity. Ryan T. Anderson is a Princeton-educated, well-known speaker who has written books, been cited as part of the dissenting opinion of the Supreme Court during the 2015 ruling in gay marriage, and appeared on CNN to debate his views. Monday night in the Laurie Student Center, he gave a speech that was billed as, quote, redefining marriage, unquote. But not all CSU students felt comfortable with his presence on campus, and some held a protest because they believe in tolerance and diversity and open-mindedness. Nicholas Delgado was one of the lead students who helped organize the protest, because Nicholas Delgado doesn't have any friends or hobbies or family or homework or a job or anything like that. And so he has time to protest a Catholic guy talking about his opinions on marriage, because Nicholas believes in tolerance and diversity and freedom of speech and open-mindedness. He felt that Anderson's presence on the campus was contradictory to some of the standards set forth by the Laurie Student Center. Now, the Laurie Student Center is a building. It is a conglomeration of metal and fiberglass and plastic and glass and sheetrock. Okay, the Laurie Student Center does not set standards. The Laurie Student Center is not a sentient being. But then again, when you're a member of the smartest generation, I suppose you can't really understand those kind of nuances. Quote, when I heard about this guy coming to campus, I knew we needed to do something about this, because this is not okay. And the fact that it is being held in the building even says that any event corresponding to discrimination based on sexual orientation or religion will be prohibited, unquote, Delgado said. Again, buildings don't talk, but okay, whatever. The event was held... Now, hold on. So we can't have an event here which... And this doesn't really... But then again, he's medicated. Corresponding to discrimination based on sexual orientation or religion. Okay, well, never mind. My brain was trying to go somewhere, but it's not going there. If it works out, I'll come back to it. The event was held by RamCatholic, an on-campus ministry at CSU, whose website says the organization supports the spiritual development of students during a critical transitional time in their lives. Quote, RamCatholic seeks to boldly communicate to faculty, staff, and students of Colorado State University the social, humanitarian, moral, and spiritual teachings of the Catholic Church. Dr. Anderson fits this goal. Unquote. Leanne Tracy, the Associate Director of Campus Ministry at CSU, wrote in an email to the Collegian. Tracy also wanted to make clear that this event is not meant to be discriminatory in any way. Quote, we understand that this topic is emotionally charged and very personal. We are not homophobic. Again, if you have to say you're not homophobic, it's because you are. That's why you've not heard me claim to be things I'm not. Most of us have loved ones who are, I'm not racist, I know some black people. And most of us have loved ones who have homosexuality in their lives. We are merely seeking to communicate the teachings of the Catholic Church in regards to the definitions of marriage, unquote, Tracy wrote. Delgado mentioned that Anderson's well-known belief of conversion therapy, a form of therapy aimed at converting homosexual individuals into heterosexuals, is particularly offensive and in violation of the LSC's policy. Now here's a question. Why is it so evil to help to convert, we'll use their word, why is it so evil to convert homosexuals into heterosexuals, yet converting heterosexuals into homosexuals is considered enlightened? We're at a place right now where there's a huge emphasis on converting men into women and women into men. And I don't just mean their behavior, I mean transsexuality. Notice how all this push to get people to be something other than heterosexual men or heterosexual women is just not, it's supported, it's enlightened, it's okay, it gets approval from the government, it gets funding from the government, it gets special protection, yada yada yada. But the very notion that somebody who is homosexual might become heterosexual, whoa, fuck, that is just evil. That's right up there with gassing Jews and hanging black people. Just saying. Think about it. If a person who's homosexual wants to become heterosexual, see, that's evil, and we have to stop that from happening, and we have to protest. But if a heterosexual wants to become homosexual, if a man wants to become a woman, or a woman wants to become a man, well, you have to accept that, you have to support that, and if you don't, you're going to be attacked. There is, and people may say there isn't, but there is a very organized effort on the part of the state, the government, and the colleges, and the media. There is an organized effort to attack heterosexuality and to support homosexuality. Now, we can debate, merits and all this other shit. Those things can be debated, but the fact that this, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that this mindset, the fact that this attitude in the state of hatred towards heterosexuality, the existence of this is not up for debate. This is a fucking fact. Alright, where was I? The LSC website policy page states that, quote, Colorado State is committed to providing an environment free of harassment and other forms of discrimination based on race, age, color, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, veteran status, and or disability, unquote. Unless, of course, you are a heterosexual white man who has a job, or if you're a Catholic, in which case, yes, we will fucking discriminate the fuck against you. Because white privilege and fucking School of Social Work and GLBTKKK and fucking Americans with Disabilities Act and on and on and on and on and on. Quote, it doesn't feel fair because I see this and so many other students see this as a problem, unquote, Delgado said. Well, Delgado, life isn't fair, and nobody really gives a fuck how you see any. Again, I see this as a problem. Guess what, man? You are not the center of the universe. Other people are different than you. Other people have different worldviews than you, but you can't handle that because tolerance, diversity, and multiculturalism. And anyone different than you must be silenced, must be attacked, must be ridiculed. The advertisement for the speech contains a picture of two people holding hands without any indication as to the gender of either individual. And Delgado felt that this was misleading to students who viewed the ad. Quote, "What makes me angry too was seeing how they advertised it. It was very misleading because the cover picture is just two genderless people who are holding hands and it says redefining marriage. I feel like someone who looks at it from the surface could just be very misled about what's really going on," unquote, Delgado said. So if it's just a picture of their hands, why are they genderless people? I mean, okay, yeah, a lot of times you can tell the gender of somebody by looking at their hand and only their hand. But, I mean, my God, it's this searching for reasons to be offended. You know, the picture shows two genderless hands holding each other. Oh my God, I'm so offended. I mean, fucking Christ. To be clear, Delgado and the students planning the protest weren't protesting the event. So we're protesting this event, but we're not protesting the event. We just want to be clear about that. To be clear, Delgado and the students planning the protest weren't protesting the event, but rather were trying to stand up together for their ideals and provide a safe haven for students who don't feel comfortable with Anderson's speech. Students who don't feel comfortable with Anderson's speech don't need a safe haven because they can just fucking, first of all, if they're not at the speech, how do they know whether or not they feel comfortable? So it's not affecting them. And second of all, if they're at the speech and they don't feel comfortable, and again, it's this, oh my God, you know, this goes back to the fucking prime directive of society in the United States of America, which is that no white woman can ever be offended, right? No white woman can ever experience discomfort. And as our society becomes more and more and more feminized, this whole, somebody might feel discomfort by what this man is saying. If listening to a person talk causes you so much discomfort that you can't cope with it, you have bigger problems. I mean, you have some kind of mental fucking emotional malfunctions. People talk all, you know, I was going to say people talk all the time and I experience discomfort and all that, but I don't. I don't experience discomfort when people talk. I mean, I may disagree with them. I may come on this podcast and get all ranty and start screaming. And this may be hard for some of you out there to believe because you're a statist and you're stupid. I don't go through my entire life like ranting like I do on this podcast. This is me firing for effect. This is me doing the shtick, right? I know you probably think, man, this guy, he just goes through life angry all the fucking time. No, I really don't. I'm sad to disappoint you, but see, you would love that if I went through life angry the way you do. But this is the point. This is the difference between you and me. And of course, also, I'm a heterosexual white man who actually works for a living and I don't get any forms of welfare. But no, I don't go through life angry. I don't get fucking, what's the word? I've already forgot what the word was. Discomfort. I don't get discomfort when other people have opinions different than mine. I may think that they're idiots. I may be like, yeah, you're wrong. But I'm not emotionally manipulated by everything that happens in the world around me and constantly looking for reasons to be oppressed. A safe haven for students who don't feel comfortable with Anderson's speech. Oh, it's a safe haven. Quote, "We are trying to create an area of safety on campus while this event is going on. We just want to be able to show students what this event is actually about, and also to address that having an event like this on campus with such a large variety of people can alienate a lot of people. It's not fair to have something so hateful on campus that excludes so many people," unquote, Delgado said. Okay, so we're trying to create an area of safety. Ah, yes, the safe space. The fucking medicated generation, their existence revolves around the safe space. They must have a space where nothing they disagree with, where nothing contrary to their worldview, where no independent thinking whatsoever happens, where everybody echoes that which is said and heard in the echo chamber. We want to show students what this event is actually about. Well, how do you know what the event is actually about unless you are at the event? But you're not at the event, you're outside on the student center protesting it. You have no way of knowing what's going on in the event. Well, that's not true. You could send somebody in with a cell phone and they could do like a live streaming of the event and you could be watching it on your cell phone. That could technically be happening. I doubt they did that. So they have no idea what's going on at this event. Not a fucking clue. With such a large variety of people, it can alienate a lot of people. Well, anytime you have, as over at Chateau Hartis says, diversity plus proximity equals war. Anytime you have a large variety of people in one place, something that's going on might alienate some of them. But this is the difference between children, statists, and victims versus anarcho-capitalist and adults. The anarcho-capitalist, when seeing something that alienates him for whatever reason, doesn't have an emotional reaction and piss his pants and start running for a safe space and screaming about how he's a victim. The child, the statist, the medicated generation member, the victim, when they see something alienating to them, when they see something different from their worldview, they immediately piss on themselves, call themselves a victim, and start seeking redress from the state. It's not fair to have something so hateful on campus that excludes so many people. Because, the Catholic opinion of marriage is obviously hatred. Why is that hatred? Well, because it's different from the opinion of marriage, which is held by the GLBT-KKK. And if you have an opinion different than the opinion of the GLBT-KKK, then you are a person motivated by hatred. Because it's impossible for anyone to disagree with the GLBT-KKK for any reason other than hatred, right? Just like if you say, well, Obama said this, and I disagree with what Obama did, right? That's because you're a racist. It's impossible to have a disagreement with Obama for any reason other than being a racist. Despite the backlash RamCatholic has incurred because of Anderson's presence, Tracy said they do not plan to shy away from bringing in controversial speakers in the future. Quote, "It is our goal to equip students with the knowledge of the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church and why it holds those beliefs. In the future, we will continue to invite speakers who effectively communicate these beliefs," unquote, Tracy wrote. What I also find interesting about this article, and I read the entire thing to you, notice that in this entire article, Notice how we were given no information about what actually happened at the event. Notice how we were given no information about what the beliefs of Ryan T. Anderson are on marriage and the Roman Catholic interpretation of marriage. Now, we can make assumptions, right? We can assume because, well, okay, so Roman Catholic, so therefore probably this guy is saying that marriage is one man and one woman and the purpose is to procreate, and you're not supposed to use birth control, and you're not supposed to get abortions, and you're supposed to fuck, and if she gets pregnant, you're supposed to have the baby because God invented, created, gave us, whatever word you want to use, sex for the purpose of procreation, and that's what sex is for, and to use sex for sport or for enjoyment or for pleasure instead of procreation is a sin. We can assume that these are the things he said, and if he said these things, that would not be a surprise. But do you notice how there's no actual information? Do you notice how nobody who was at the event was questioned about any of this? The person writing this didn't talk to, what's his name? Ryan T. Anderson himself. Because, of course, when you're an idiot, information such as what did the people you are protesting actually say is irrelevant, because it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter in the slightest what Ryan T. Anderson actually said. What matters is a bunch of little fucking millennials, and by a bunch I mean one, because Nicholas Delgado was one of the lead students, but no one else was interviewed. We don't have any numbers here about how many people were at the protest or anything else, so most likely it was Nicholas Delgado and two of his friends who are also virgins. And so there's these three little students out there who are whining about how offended they are, and this is what's important to the journalists. It reminds me, many years ago when Rush Limbaugh, back when I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh was doing his live speaking tours, and every place he would go, there'd be some protesters outside. And one day Rush Limbaugh made the comment, which I think is very astute, is that for the media, the news, what was news to the media, was these 20 protesters outside the venue protesting where Rush was talking. Meanwhile, inside the venue are 2,000 people who paid money to hear him talk. And it's the same thing here, right? We have no information. How many people came to hear Ryan T. Anderson talk? What did Ryan T. Anderson say? See, that's not the news. What's the news to journalism students is Nicholas Delgado and his two virgin friends out there on the Laurie Student Center Plaza getting their feelings hurt and needing a safe space.